For many, doing their taxes often slides to the bottom of the to-do list until just about this week, because the deadline is this Friday. And given the economic catastrophe of the pandemic, the job this year could be tougher than usual. With us to help in the Witchwood Barnes neighborhood of the provincial capital, there's Jackie Porter, certified financial planner with Carte Wealth Management. Jackie, it's good to have you back on the program. How are you managing?
I am doing pretty good, all things considered, Steve.
That is the line people use, right? As well as possible under the circumstances. I get you. Well, we're very close to the personal income tax filing deadline, of course, April 30th. Tell us, in your view, what the most substantial change this year for personal income taxes is compared to other years.
I think we can all agree that 2020 was one of the most volatile years we've seen. And that has actually never been more true than it's been for people who were getting cash flow, because unfortunately, cash flow came to a screeching halt for a lot of individuals in 2020 who are just kind of doing their thing. And I think that's probably the biggest issue because the pandemic affected so many types of business, especially certain industries where all of a sudden they lost income and really got into a scenario where they were losing income and had to rely on all the government programs that were being introduced. So I think for people, individuals who lost income from their employers, they started to rely on CERB. Business owners started to rely on the myriad. There were so many different government programs that they had to pivot to in order to keep, their financial life afloat. So I
Now,
think I think that's really something that business owners struggled with and still are struggling with.
because of the pandemic, of course, governments at all levels have given us extensions on doing things like paying municipal taxes or renewing our driver's licenses. Any indication whether or not they're going to extend the deadline for filing our taxes?
You know, governments are in the red as far as their balance sheets. So I don't think they have an appetite for extending the deadline and like they did last year when there was so many more unknowns. And I think they were more willing to give people a break because they had a little bit more money in their coffers. So that filing deadline for those of you who are still waiting is April 30th. And the only thing they've said, Steve, is that they are willing to, for people who took advantage of the programs, so all of the subsidy programs I've just talked about, and who earn $75,000 or less, they'd be willing to give them an extension on paying the
Hmm.
taxes. So
Okay.
they can check with their accountant and see if they qualify based on their taxable income that they've shown whether or not they'd be able to get an extension to pay. That's
Well,
about
let
all
me
they're
follow
willing
up
to
on
do.
that. Yeah, let me follow up on that because I think there are going to be a lot of people with some questions around that. For example, the CERB, do you have to pay tax on that income? Or the wage top up, do you have to pay tax on that income? What's the rule there?
Yes, you do. The short, quick answer is yes, you expect to pay taxes because, at the time when we were all getting these benefits, we were just happy to be able to use them to pay our bills. And, I think for a lot of people, and this is something to watch, is if you didn't make income initially when CERB hit, but then later on your business started to pick up, you might have been paying taxes on your business income or income you earned from your salary. But if you add what you got from CERB and what you made otherwise, there's going to be additional taxes to pay along with the taxes that would be owing on these programs. So definitely do the math and find out where you stand when it comes to owing, because that's just yet another stress that people had to deal with during the pandemic, along with worrying about cash flow, is worrying about whether or not they were going to have to pay some of these programs back this tax year or in a future tax year, right?
All right, let me do another follow up, business related this time. There are many people who, over the past year and change, have whatever their occupation was beforehand, and if they did it outside their home, that was one thing. Many of them are now working out of the house. Does that mean that they now have potential tax write offs from working at home that they didn't have before that they should be looking into now?
Yes. So that, there's finally some good news. Thank you for asking about that, Steve, because I feel like I keep giving bad news to people this year. You can claim actually under the home office write-off. You can claim up to $400 of deductions on your income taxes for this year if you were working from home. I believe it adds up to $2 a day, but the max deduction, especially for those of you who aren't organized around keeping track of all of your expenses, with the home office deduction, you can write off up to $400 of expenses for your working from home expenses. The government has a secondary program that if you rented out space, like your office space, and you rented out your home office space just because of not being able to use it during the pandemic, there are additional expenses you can qualify for. You just have to have all of the receipts associated with it. So again, this is a great opportunity to ask your accountant if you've been organized, keeping all of your tax receipts, to make sure you can claim every penny that you're entitled to, because it's a bigger tax benefit if you're organized.
Mm-hmm. Now, what if you
But
run a
400 is if you're not.
400 if you're not. If you run a sole proprietorship, I gather they don't have to file until June. Are there any new business write-offs as a result of the pandemic that these folks ought to be considering?
Yeah, so June 15th, thank you for pointing that out, is the tax deadline. And that hasn't been extended either, folks. So don't get too excited. I don't think they will. The government's looking for your money sooner than later. You have an additional tax program, a deduction that you can claim this year. So I'm happy to report you can write off subscriptions. So business subscriptions for news magazines or newspapers you'd normally have subscribed to. You do get an additional tax write-off of $500 that you can claim. So that if you, like me, had newspapers or magazines collecting dust in your office, you can now subscribe for an online news magazine or online subscription, and you're able to write off up to $500 of those expenses. So
And these are all legitimate tax write-offs?
100%.
100%. Okay. If you have a business, is it important that you pay yourself a salary?
This is a huge thing I'm always talking to my self-employed clients about, because yes, it's nice to not have to pay taxes, Steve, but then where do you lose out? What's the cost of not, taking a salary? The big one is, if you don't take a salary, you can't apply for things like a mortgage or even opportunities to grow your business, because you need to show the government that you're earning a reliable income from your business. You also have a scenario where this year, if you didn't actually show any income from your business, how can the government reimburse you or give you access to these assistance programs if they can't show that you had any loss in income? So if you didn't show an income from your business, you would have lost out in 2020, a year that would have been so crucial to have access to government assistance programs, and maybe the lifeblood of your business in 2020. You would have lost out on being able to claim or access any of the CERB programs, any of the wage subsidy programs, the Canada Business Emergency Business Account. These were vital programs that have kept business alive during the pandemic. So definitely important to show some salaried income. Another reason that you might want to consider doing that is to actually set up things like RRSPs. RSPs are based on your earned income from the previous years. So if you're trying to diversify your streams of income away from your business, you would not be able to invest in things like RRSPs as well.
I should ask you the flip side of that question, which is, what would be the logical explanation for why somebody who owned their own business would not want to pay themselves a salary?
Because they're thinking, I don't want to pay taxes. I mean, that's a really big motivation. Sometimes businesses are taking dividend income from their business, which gives them the dividend tax credit. So, sometimes the government, their accountant might advise from a tax planning perspective that might be an advantageous thing to do, or take no salary claim, or they might not be able to afford to. Maybe they're not able to afford to take a salary from their business, which is also an issue, right? Because you kind of want to, in order to run financial statements and see how your business is doing, is to take a salary from your business and increase that, and to get a sense of the overall financial health of your business. So, from a tax planning perspective, there's opportunities to reduce your taxes outside of just taking a dividend income. In fact, a number of provinces like Ontario have taken away some of the benefits of claiming just dividend income, and taking a salary and taking dividend income almost equal. So there's not as many incentives, especially from 2021 on, to just take income from dividends.
Gotcha. Now, Jackie, I want to circle back to an example you gave just a few moments ago, where you talked about a business that might have been in grave difficulty at the beginning of the pandemic, but then for whatever reason they pivoted, they figured it out. The business came roaring back, cash flow was good, but maybe they had loans that they had to pay off, or other obligations they had to deal with, and as a result, they're cash poor right now, and yet here comes the tax man with a bill. If you're in that predicament and the bank account is empty, but you owe, what do you do?
You try to get ahead of that. First of all, again, in conversation with your accountant. So, what's the damage going to be? If I owe, how much time will I need to pay? That you can potentially figure out just having a sense that the business isn't doing well now. Well, then get your accountant to reach out to CRA. They are looking at each and every person's circumstances, and based on your financial hardship, you can get an extension to pay your tax bill. So get ahead of it, talk to your accountant, have them reach out to CRA to make payment arrangements. They are willing to look at that based on your financial circumstances.
Does much of that happen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This year, in particular, I think CRA is open, but they do want some kind of a repayment plan in place. It's the worst thing you can do is just not deal with it and have them come after you, because they certainly can. And people don't realize that when they pay their taxes, the government has access to their bank accounts. So if you don't file your taxes and you owe, and they know that you owe, they simply can send your bank a demand letter and start coming up with their own repayment plan and just take that money out of your account. So get ahead of it. Talk to the government directly if you don't have an accountant, or talk to your accountant. Work something out. They can do the math and look at your financial scenario just as well as you can, and see if there's no money available to pay. And the reality is just coming up with what's a reasonable scenario for you to be in order to pay it. Maybe it's 6 months, but paying something is better than paying nothing.
So closing your eyes and hiding under the covers is not a good strategy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they'll come find you. They know where you live.
They know where we are. Okay. In our last
And they
minute
know
and
where your
change
money
here.
is.
Yeah, that's for sure. In our last minute and change here, let's do one last thing here. And that is, I'm sure there are people watching this right now or listening on podcast who just find all of this a bit overwhelming. And maybe they don't have. I notice your advice on many occasions tonight has been in accompaniment with your chartered accountant. Some people don't have accountants.
Yeah.
So in that case, what's the advice?
In that case, there are actually a lot of tax clinics available from different community organizations. So Google tax clinics in your area, because you can get volunteers to help you file your income taxes. And so if you're again in a scenario where you are your income is low, or you're in financial hardship, there are organizations available out there who will help you to file your taxes. The other thing I was going to say is, for those of you who have fairly straightforward tax returns to file, there's UFile and eFile that the government allows you to download, the software that they allow you to download, and you can file yourself, and there's prompts to give you opportunities to reduce your income taxes. They'll tell you about some of the programs available, and prompt you to apply for those credits online. And you can file your taxes that way as well.
Great. Jackie
Just take
Porter.
action.
Take action is always the best plan. Jackie Porter, certified financial planner. Really good of you to spend some time with us on TVO tonight. Many thanks.
A pleasure, Steve. See you soon. Thanks again.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.